friends, it's Nancy. I'm having a rough go. Woke up this morning, couldn't find my glasses, so I put on an old pair. I could not find my journal that I was working on, but I tidied up my craft room here. Still didn't find it. It was right on my desk in front of me, like under the shelf here. Go figure. And then I went out to get my second cup of coffee, and there my glasses were on a stove. I have no idea how they got there. I tend to avoid stoves. So there's gonna be 7 signatures in this book. Let me write this down so I remember. So I'm pulling out some papers to get going. So I've got this old journal, and it has some blue pages in it. Ew. Oh, I think it's going to be too wide. Here I was thinking it was going to be perfect. Yeah, it's about 3/4 of an inch too wide. So if I cut off, it's going to take the number off. Or maybe I'll cut it from the bottom. Well, that's just... it's just been a comedy of errors this morning, let me tell you. Maybe I want 2 of them, because I have 7 signatures. Maybe I'll have 4 of them. Okay. I always have my mouse in the way. So I pulled out my binders of ephemera, and I pulled out everything I thought might do. So I want 7 1/4. It's Sunday morning. Yesterday was a beautiful, hot, sunny day. So Doug and I got our housework done early. And we went out on a bike ride. So we went to Paris, Ontario first and had breakfast there. So I want 3 5/8, I guess? No. 3 1/2. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong measurement. 4 1/2, 4 3/4. So we had breakfast at the Arlington Hotel. And we went on a long ride on the country roads. Put that aside before I lose it. Okay. I have this old receipt from 1853. I can leave it folded like that. It's gonna be, might be, looks like it's about 8 inches across. 7 3/4. So I need to take a 1/4 inch off each side. Can I do it? Maybe I'll have to take a 1/2 inch off there, but then I'll cut off that. I need to go another 1/8 of an inch. Isn't it interesting how these old pages are in better shape than some 1958 books and papers? Okay, that's not bad. I'm gonna reinforce that. I think it'll be fine, but better safe than sorry. Now, if I can just find and then we went to St. Thomas. Tried to see my mother. She wasn't home. Saw 2 of my brothers. Well, both of my brothers, I guess. 2 of my siblings. I also fell off the motorcycle and landed on top of me. I'm not sure what happened. Doug and my brother had to pull the motorcycle off of me. My brother said, "I saw you do it. I thought it was a joke. I wasn't sure what you were doing." But I didn't get hurt, just scared. You know, when you're going down, you think, oh boy, I'm too old for this. I'm going to bust a hip or something. Hit my head. I had my helmet on, so it was okay there, but I will live to ride another day. Then we went to this Mexican restaurant there that I used to love. And it's kind of getting a little worn at the heel. But the food was still good. And it was busy. And then, I see I have some ephemera, so like this could be a tag to write on. Not even sure what it is. I don't know, something advertising classified ads in a weekly newspaper, I guess, from 1946. Also have this little card. It actually had a had a calendar in it. Teeny tiny calendar. I wouldn't mind putting some paper in there so it's not so shiny. And then we went to see Doug's mother. She wasn't home. Then we tried to see one of Doug's brothers. 2 cars in the driveway. Nobody's home. It's crazy. That's all right. So we got home about 8 o'clock, I guess. And I had a very hot bath and a soak because I was more than a little saddle sore. But I had a pretty good night. I'm trying a new medication this week called Lyrica for nerve pain. And the first night I had a really good night, and last night I had a really good night. The 2 in between, and really that's all I care about is sleeping. So I have to have more x-rays, another ultrasound, MRI. This was a little crooked. And I'm seeing the surgeon in December. See what they can do to fix my shoulder up. If anything. Too bad my manufacturers have gone out of business. I can't get any spare parts. Oh, and when I was in St. Thomas, 2 people have told me to visit Lockwood Books. Oh, shoot. So they close at 6 o'clock. So I went after dinner. I only had a few minutes to look around. Oh, shoot. But they did have some very lovely, lovely books. The prices were not too bad. I did make a purchase. but I'll definitely be back. Ugh. You can follow them on Instagram, so you can check out their eye candy. Lockwood Books, I think, is their Instagram account name. Okay. Wow. That was a chore. So pretty. Okay, so we've got that. This is a vintage calling card. It says Agnes on the back. This is from Myron, with compliments of Myron Shaft. Let's see if I can erase Agnes's name. And I see that it was cut just a little off, so I'm going to take a whisker width nope, didn't get it. And you saw the ruler move, right? Ugh. I'm gonna wreck this. There's nothing about this that's going to be straight. And I'm just going to have to live with it. This is an envelope from shipping company, Pacific and Orient. Are you gonna fit? Yeah, you'll fit. So I'll put that into a signature. I have this one. I'm gonna ink that one up a bit. It looks a little too new. Just barely coloring the edge. I know I've talked about this before, that Doug and I have a tour booked. We booked it in February of 2020 to do a tour of England. So it's been 2.5 years, and I called the company on Friday because I want to rebook it, and I saw actually that they had some last minute deals, and one of them was in 3 weeks. And it was called A Glimpse of Europe, and it included Amsterdam, Cologne and the Black Forest, Lucerne in Switzerland, and Paris. And then we could have a complimentary transfer to London. And I thought, well, that's ideal. We'll get the transfer to London and just hang out in London for a few days. So I called to see if I could make that happen. And for some reason, and maybe somebody knows something, can't get flights. I can get to Europe. In fact, the flight to Amsterdam was cheap. And it was a direct flight. I want to say it was like 400 and change Canadian for the flight. But any return flights were like $2,000. And none of them direct. And I said, I'm not paying $2,000 for a flight. So I said, let's book the Real Britain one. This is through Trafalgar. Okay, what else have I got here? Got this little blue coupon that I will use to decorate somewhere. Got this cigarette silk from 100 years ago. Got this postcard. I thought I might make another one of those pulley-outy kind things. Doesn't say anything very exciting. And I could cut it right there. So I'll put that aside. Here's a check from 1915. Another blue postcard from 1898. I wonder if it'll fit in. Nope. Might fit in there. This is a certificate of honor from 1944. And this is, oh yeah, that'll work. I'm gonna have to cover the back, clearly. See, 1944, and it made a really crunchy noise. So I'm going to reinforce it. Anyway, so we looked at the original tour again for later in the summer. Again, no flights. Well, no affordable flights. Like, I don't understand why the flights over are reasonable and the flight to return is 3-4 times as much. I just don't get it. So we'd been on the phone a long time, and I said, why don't you give me an email and we'll talk next week. So we're looking at a late September date. We'll see how that goes. I think I'm going to cover the back. Maybe I'll make a big lace pocket here. Let me grab some lace. Okay, I pulled out a couple of options. So there's that one. Or I've got some crocheted lace here. What do you think? Let's do crocheted. Excuse me. This one is super pretty. I love it, but I gotta start using this stuff. Oh my gosh, I was at the thrift store Friday, I guess it was. And I hadn't been there in weeks. And they had tons and tons and tons of hand knit lace. And I didn't buy any. That's gonna be fine. That's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna glue the edges of these little fingers. Get this centered. You know what? Might be fun if I took 3 old buttons and stitch them right here. These are all old pearl. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm gonna stitch those. Oop. Messed that up. Sorry. I just put a mouse pad under here. Make it easier to poke holes. And we definitely have to cover that other side too. Just looking to see what I have here. Try to tie a knot. And look. gonna ink the edge of this a little bit. Barely tell the difference, but what shall I put on you? You're a little bear. This is a little torn piece of lace. Probably came from somebody's cuff. I don't know if you can see, there's little teeny tiny hand stitches there. Right there. There's one there. Just going to tear this straight edge off the top of this. That's the problem with embossed papers, is they're hard to tear. So that little cuff there came from a bundle of vintage and antique lace that I got in Maryland when we were on vacation. Feels like 3 months ago, but I think it was 3 weeks ago. Should give you an update on my friends at the encampment. So our office assisted with putting together a delegation of residents from the homeless encampment to address regional council on Wednesday night, and it went really well. Yeah. There, that's pretty. So the eviction is supposed to be Thursday this week, but there was an article yesterday confirming that the eviction was not going to be enforced. So that's good news. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to stitch that. I'm not sure that I'm going to. It's probably okay the way it is. I mean, I could do a little hand stitch. Sure, I could. So this little tool, I wish I could tell you where to find one. I've had it for years. When I was bullet journaling. And I got it from Michaels. And I haven't seen one since. I see we're going a little long, so I think I'll set this aside and show you a few other pages I've got pulled out. Sorry. I got this piece of stationery. It is about 8 inches long. Wide, long. This one, it's about 8 inches. I'm going to cut this one off. I could cut it or fold it sideways, but I really want that daisy to be in the correct orientation. I have this one. I have a couple of very old old. This one is from 1876, and it is... Oh, that's going to be good. Should I scan these first? I'll scan these first and then I'll fold them. This one I think I'm not going to use. This was from 1940. I don't think I'm going to use that one. These ones I'm going to scan, and I will put them on my coffee account page. The link is below, and you can print them off, use them however you like. Yeah, this one's 1880 something, 7 maybe. This one's 1876. This one's for Swiss cheese. Some kind of seed. I have no idea. I think that's a tea. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you thought this was interesting. I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.